Good evening. It's Champions League Match Day 2 reaction show. And just let's get on with the show because I am completely and utterly not in the mood for this. So let me introduce you to our guests, the one and only Sam Spurs for Life and Hotspur Hurley himself, Sean. Good evening, boys. How are we?
Yeah, I'm trying to do some of the stats in the background, so I'll talk less for now. You guys could do the talking because I don't want to talk about that rubbish.
So, if you're just joining us, Sporting Lisbon 2, Tottenham Hotspurs 0, Match Day 2, Champions League, 5:45 kickoff, and another shocking performance, shocking first half, shocking result, absolute pissed off. Sean, thoughts, please.
Yeah, I suppose it's been coming. All it needed was a competent defence, which they had. They had a strong back five, and taking your chances, which they did. Probably on the balance of the game, we can't really complain. We weren't good enough. Too many of our top players went missing tonight, and that includes our famous, three at the front. I thought, it's just. I mean, compounding, losing 2-0 was bad enough. That was just terrible. I mean, a typical Dr. Tottenham performance. Sporting Club de Lisbon have not won a European game against an English team ever at their stadium. Yeah. Dr. Tottenham will see you now.
But do you know what? If we break it down into halves, right? I know Sam's working on the stats, but let's break it down into halves. Well, let's not even break it down into halves. Let's start off right at the beginning. The team lineup. Was you surprised with the team lineup? I was surprised the fact that Son started and Cooley didn't. Right?
I think we said in the preview show, because we didn't have that game against City.
Yeah,
I didn't think there was going to be too many changes. There was only one. There was one change from that game, effectively, which was Longley out, Ben Davies in. And I knew that would be the case. I knew Son wasn't going anywhere. Certainly wasn't going to be dropped in terms of Kulu coming in. It was a case of, was Richarlison start? And Richarlison deserved to start after his performances for Spurs. But we don't control games. We have to understand that this form on tactics and style and strategy of play works well if you can keep clean sheets and you can take advantage of your counterattacks. If you score off that, if we score the first goal, like we said, in many games, you're going to be the dominant team because we can defend pretty well. The other teams get a bit frustrated. They attack more, leave more spaces, and that allows us to be able to compound that attacking in that counterattack style. But when you don't do that, at any given moment, if it's 0-0, things like this happen. And this is... It's a fine line, but for me, the biggest thing about this game is the changes. What changes did we see in this game? What changes?
I don't know. I mean, Sean, was you happy with the starting lineup? Would you want it changed? And also, what Sam's saying about the changes.
I mean, I can understand he's desperately trying to play Son into some sort of form, but it was clear from like 20 minutes in. The boy's just not at his, whatever's going on, I don't know, it's off field or on field. He's just not the same person. And he just, nothing he did went right. And, it just made it worse. And it meant that we were a man down. I can't think of any contribution he made to the game. But, a lot of players, today was the first time I saw how poor Harry Kane's control is of the ball. A number of times it pinged off him, when we needed, he needed it, to kill it dead. And given that he's supposed to be a midfielder come attacker or attacker come midfielder, that was poor tonight. The fact that the two clearest chances fell to Emerson Royale, is another damning indictment, really, But yeah, I mean, even when we're getting to the wings, there's nobody in the box. Nobody is in the box. Kane is too far deep to catch up.
Yeah.
And Son is just, well, I don't know where Son is, and Richarlison is, well, I mean, you know, he carried us at the front today. I thought of the three at the front, you know, and Kulusevski, if he doesn't play at the weekend, there's something seriously wrong.
But what about
look at the difference he made?
What about this midfield though? What did you see some of the? I've sung Hojbjerg's praises all season. He's been one of our best players, but tonight there was some shocking passing. There was some passes that were just. I saw one where he tried. It was almost like it's ballooned it up into the air and it just went off. And this was like there was no pressure on it. And there was a couple of instances like that. Bentancur worked hard, but they worked well. Don't get me wrong, they're working hard in that. But again, the systems were almost matched up. But the way that the subtle differences in the way that Sporting played it, they got players round us. If you watched them, they were really at it. They really aggressive in that press, and they were both the same system. So we can't say, oh, the system outdone us. The players outdone us. And I don't know if we did enough to win the game or didn't set out to look like we wanted to win the game. And this adage of Conte is about if you can't win it, don't lose it. Well, we never even set out to try and win that game. So I don't know. I'm kind of not surprised that this has happened, but it's surprising that we didn't see wholesale changes. All right, well, I'm going to throw this guy on. I'm going to throw a Spence on the right wing. I'm just going to bring on an extra midfielder and Basuma. Just none of that. We just watching ourselves lose.
It's for me, both teams set out the same way, right? And the commentator said it several times that Sporting Lisbon are going to sit back and rely on the counter attack. We're a team that sits back and relies on the counter attack. Unfortunately enough, though, out of the two teams, they look like the better team going forward in a counter attack. Their wing backs got forward. They had purpose in the middle, whereas our wing backs didn't. I didn't go forward. Emerson Royal does Emerson Royal performances. I think Perisic didn't have a good game either. Our midfield too, again, I think exactly what you're saying, Sam. They huffed and they puffed. But for me, they still don't do enough in terms of, I don't think Bentancur scored, they said, didn't he, in about 2 years, 180 odd games. He's never going to score for us. Hojbjerg occasionally, yes, and he did something going forward, but majority of the time it was sideways. And then when the ball came to him, he was going straight backwards. And what you were saying, Sam, a few times he was just kicking the ball away. That in the last 10 minutes when he got the ball, he lost it, and then he made an absolute stupid tackle and got himself a yellow card. You've lost the ball, and then why? This is our problem with Spurs. When we give the ball away, we end up doing something really stupid and clumsy and end up getting yellow cards. Emerson done the same as well. But overall, it was a poor performance. The front three, like you said, Sean, Richarlison carried the team. Kane, you know what? I keep saying this. We needed to get another proper number 9 striker because, like you said, Sean, amount of times there was opportunity to cross the ball, but there's no one there. Kane was like halfway line, and for the first goal, it was Kane's man that got the header. It was Kane was supposed to be marking the guy, but for me, Conte's got a lot of blame to take on his shoulders, and I think we said this yesterday as well, didn't we? It's going to be points and victories over performances, and unfortunately, I think the performances are going to have to now get upped. He's going to have to change the mentality and or the way he puts his team out, because a lot of teams now will be sitting there watching this performance and they're going to be thinking, do you know what? We can do this with Spurs. We know how one-track pony.
To be fair though, Sid, it's not that blueprint's out there from a long time ago. Yeah. It's just whether teams can take advantage of getting that first goal against us, or we defend well enough that they don't score, or that we have a bit of a renaissance in some of our forward lines apart from Richarlison and get some goals out of them. Kane, we can look at Kane's output in terms of goals. He scored goals, but his performances haven't been of elite level. Like just had to look at that little cameo from Marcus Edwards. Now, he might not have done amazing in the game. He had moments, he had flashes, but that moment of just brilliance. Now, we've seen that from Son. I remember the Burnley game where he was taking on, and everyone's like, wow, yeah, Puskas, he's going for them sort of. But we ain't seen any of that this season. No, I'm just going to take it to the players. And that's all Marcus Edwards done. He got the ball and run at players, and that is the most frightening things. If you just dribble at players, they're gonna either commit themselves or they're gonna let you pass them. Simple science, man. Simple science.
We were carved up. I mean, they out Conte balled us. I mean, the number of times that they just in one single passes they got from back to front tonight was unbelievable. Unbelievable. They carved us up. Really poor play, and we never seemed to be in control of the game. I think we had a good 15 minutes at the beginning of each half, but you know, time and time again, if we don't score, you know, we can be so negative, you know.
The thing with us is, as we're not the prettiest on the eye, and let's not kid ourselves. We're not the prettiest on the eye to watch as a football team. So what you want from Spurs, if this is going to be the way we play, is you want results. You want results, and you want heart, and you want determination, you want fight, and you want all the things. And we've seen that up to this point. But with this way of playing, as we've always, as I've definitely maintained, is it get you so far until you can adapt. And when you play a team like City, like had we played City like on Saturday, and had they scored 1 or 2 goals, we would have to change our way of playing. You're forced to, because you can't play that way. And then Conte was almost forced to in that game when he went to that 4-2-4, which I can't remember which game it was now, but you almost had, that's it, Chelsea game, of course. Chelsea game, when he was forced to make them changes because Tuchel had his number, and Tuchel was actually, you know, forcing him to do something different because we just could. He doesn't. These managers don't want to break away from what they know, but when it's not working, surely we've got to see at least personnel changes. If not system changes, personnel changes. That's all I want to see, personnel changes.
Yeah, and do you know what? It was a bad performance. Like you said, Sam, it was going, and Sean, it was coming at some point. Somebody was going to do us. First defeat this season. So, you know what? Let's break down the stats then. So, Sporting Lisbon de Portugal 2, Tottenham 0. 12 attempts for Sporting, 12 attempts for Tottenham. Let's have, what else are we looking at? Okay, the attacks 29 to R40, 5 corners each. Passing accuracy 87 to 85 in their favour. Passes completed, they had 500, we had 404. Let's have a look. Offsides, well, not even to be fair. Distance covered, yellow cards 2 to them, 3 for us. Where's the shots on target? He's not got shots on. Then again, doesn't really bother. We probably had about 2 on target, didn't we?
Yeah, that's his stuff. This is from the UCL. I can go and see what the shots on target were, but I'll just get out of the other stats in terms of just well, it's not really even stats. It's just where we are in the group because the other team haven't obviously played yet. So is that game gone yet?
It's 8 o'clock.
That's an 8 o'clock kickoff.
Okay, so as it stands now, Sporting are top, played 2-1-2 with a goal difference of 5. We've played 2-1-1, lost 1, goal difference of 0, and then Marseille Frankfurt kicks off at 8 o'clock. So
the last thing is just this is the team, and just looking at the team, you can obviously we know now pretty much what we're going to get from Conte and Spurs in terms of a shape: 3-4-3, 3-4-2, whatever. I accept that, and that's fine. That's not a problem. But Emerson has played pretty much everything. I've not seen anybody else play there, really. Spence got a little bit of a cameo. Didn't do much. I haven't seen Doherty, apart from a little bit of a sub-appearance of his now newly shorn face, which is like really gaunt. So he's been training hard, but not getting games. I'm not sure why you change, only if you're going to change one player. Why would you change Ben Davies for Longlet? You know what I mean? Because Longlet, for me, didn't do anything wrong, apart from playing passes that went to people. That's his wrong thing. We don't seem to do that too often, but he was doing that. And now we've got a player in there. Ben Davies, as you mentioned, he's a great utility player to have, but he's not a progressive player. He's not going to progress the ball well enough in situations like this when you need someone a little bit cute and clever, get themselves out of a little tight situation and maybe spray that ball across. Look where their goal come from. A massive switch from that left-hand side over to the right-hand side. 1v1s, like simple things, because that's where they got the corner from. Do you know what I mean? And this is the difference in Champions League and Premier League. You can get away with it in certain Premier League games, but at the top level Champions League, you ain't going to get away with it, particularly away from home.
Do you know what? the other thing I was going to say as well is this going to prove that Conte does not like the Champions League? Because judging by today's performance and Marseille's performance, it's not boding too well. Now, even if we did get out of this group, whichever way, first or second, if we come up against one of the big guns in the next round, it could be a humiliation, to be fair, if we don't get it going. One thing else I was going to ask, because I'm going to wrap it up in a couple of minutes anyway, but like you said, Sam, we only made one substitution. Oh, well, one change to the game. Do you think he should have made more? And would he have made a difference if he made like Emerson, even Perisic, Langley, even I think the two in the middle?
Okay, so in when we get to tomorrow, in the cold light of day, when we had a chance to think about it, we're less emotional and we're less bloody old Spurs. We'll think we were that close to getting a draw away at Lisbon, and that would have been a good result. If we considering what you were saying, Sean, when they went away to Frankfurt and they beat him on the first day of the Champions League, to get a draw away to them, to give us 4 points and to give them 4 points sets you up nicely for your next home game. But fine margins, this is fine margins in football, but even finer margins in Champions League football. We've seen it in games last season when Manchester City pretty much were there against Real Madrid. Real Madrid go on to win the whole thing, because it's just about making sure you do everything you can to just get that opportunity, which is what Sporting did. They just did everything in that last few minutes to get the opportunity. They got one, they got two. 2-0. It looks like a terrible scoreline for us. The result was terrible. The performance was terrible. It could have been a better result, but the performances we're going to have to see something different, at least with personnel for me, 100%.
Sean?
Yeah, I think you can only echo that, really. I mean, poor performance. Personnel, he's got to use other personnel. I don't care what Spencer's, how he came to the club. We've got to try him out. We've got a very winnable game on Saturday. Very winnable game. But we need to see much more than that.
Listen, if we don't see changes for that, Leicester are bottom of the league for a reason. They are terrible at the moment. They're in all kinds of disarray. They've lost a lot of their better players this season already. The Fofanas have gone from the likes of the starting 11. It's just like, well, again, are we going to expect another Dr. Tottenham? I don't want to get negative too much, because we're on an unbeaten Premier League run from 18 games. We're second, third of the league, 1 point off the top. If we win our game, we'll go top. If Manchester City don't win or don't play, whatever it is, I don't care now. I just want to see Tottenham. I want to see players. I don't want to see more Steven Bergwijn situations. And I'm getting them vibes with, the Spence and Basumas. I'm getting vibes of, I'm not even getting a chance. I see Ben Davies come back into the team. Now he's all right, but he's not a worldie, is he? You wouldn't say, I'm going to drop Longley because we've got Ben Davies, the worldie, coming back in the back three. I get the dependability, but we've got to see people because Conte can't moan now about personnel. He can't say, I haven't got enough players, because he's got a lot of players that have been brought into this team. And all these players now are players that are training every day with him. So he's got to play some of them. I want to see it.
100%. We're going to wrap this up now. Sam, I'm struggling. I think mine's a bit sluggish. So do you want to go through the comments?
Yes, sorry, I'll do something.
Yeah, mine's sluggish.
No worries. PAXTON ROAD, that's the most important thing on this bloody stream today. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, or whatever you do. Like and subscribe to the channel. Mark P, pissed off boys. When will we learn? Same crap indeed. As expected. Good evening to the Armory. Good evening, Fairs. We've dropped a big like. Thank you very much. Expected. No problems with that. It's 2/3 of the game, but as far as I can tell, it's business as usual. Poor passing, overall sloppy play, and no threat going forward from Bangkok. 69, good name there. Colin Lumsden, Mark said to Puzar's shocking transfer policy. I think you were saying that, Sean, about him again, the player that we said we need to.
Well, he joins a list of players who've gone away from us. Madueke has went to PSV.
Yeah, do you know what, Sean?
Mark Kande's gone to Blackburn Rovers.
Yeah, but Sean, honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I was listening to that on BT Sports, and them two were just constantly going on and on and on about it. if he has been doing that consistently week in, week out on a level in every league and whatever, I say, yeah. He's had, 5 minutes of a decent, right, he's done a few bits, but he had like one good run, and that's about it. But they were creaming all over him, man. They just need to, you know what? It happens. Are we going to go back to every single player that we've sold that's gone elsewhere and done well? No. So he's had his 5-10 minutes. He was going to be up again. You know, he knew he's coming back to Spurs. He's got points to prove. We were at
he proved it. I'm sorry, Sid. He proved it.
Yeah,
he was the best player on the field tonight.
He was.
It wasn't hard, though. It wasn't hard to be the best player on that field tonight, if I'm honest with you. Certainly from a Spurs perspective, we didn't have any standouts. There was no standouts in that at all. And Daryl Denton saying here, Conte is Jose with slightly better players. Debate this, but always comes back to the transfer window. No excuse. That loss has been coming for a long time. The way we play, this is always going to be the case. And I think we're always going to have this thing about, if they score late on, how much time do we have to respond to it? Had they scored in the 60, 70, even 80th minute, we've seen us as a club, we're strong mentally, we can come back. But when you score in added time and you score another goal in added time, there is little room to do anything. So again, this loss is always going to come if we don't score. If we don't score, we've got a problem. Anyway, we're absolutely a disgrace, embarrassing to watch. We left Son on too long. We probably shouldn't even start Son, but again, I didn't expect Son to be dropped. I don't think any of us expected Son to be dropped. We've got Arsenal fans having popcorn.
Good for them.
Anyway, I think we had one shot on target. And Blue Moon here. Keep the faith, chaps. Real Madrid lost at home to Sheriff and still won the CF. People are saying that it's still possible. I don't know, Sid. You say what your final thoughts are. Mine are just disappointed with personnel changes. That's what I'm disappointed.
Absolutely. I'll give you mine because I'm a bit sluggish at the moment. So I'll give you mine and then I'll let Sean do yours and then Sam, can you wrap it up? But my final thoughts, right? Simple. All season, apart from the Fulham game, we've not played well at all. Son has not played well at all season so far. We've been getting away with results. We've been winning, and we've already discussed this where results is going to be more over performance. But Marseille last week at home was poor, and today was even worse. So Saturday now for me is a massive game because they bought me the league, and boy, if we lose to them, then I think there's going to be some shithousery is going to happen within the fans because, like a few of them have said in the comment section as well, it's waiting to happen. And if we lose 2 on the trot, then I think there's going to be a lot of impatient Tottenham fans. So yeah.
just with the shots and thing, it was 12 attempts each from both teams. They had 6 on target. We had 5 on target. They had 2 off target. We had 4 off target. So here or there in terms of the shots.
Yeah, so that's me done. I'm going to go and watch Bayern Barcelona. Get this out of the way because this was sham.
This is the last couple of comments here. Amit Powell saying, I knew this was coming and that's why I'm not frustrated. I think we all kind of anticipate we would lose, but it's the way you lose. You don't want to lose like that. You just don't want to lose going out like that. It's particularly in the way Champions League. We work so hard, even if the performances wasn't great, to get to 0-0. And then in the 92nd minute, do that. Oh, God, I don't know. Is that it then, Sid? Is that yours? Just
Sean, we'll get Sean's final thoughts and then we're done.
There's not much to add, is there? It was a very, very bad night at the office. And thank God that's done and we can move on.
Just one final thing from me. When they scored that first and then they scored that second, did any of you lot think, I've seen this somewhere before? You know what I mean?
Well,
Dr. Tottenham.
I've seen us do it. You know, this is what I'm saying.
What I mean.
When the shoe's on our foot, it feels euphoric. Everybody is like they won the Champions League. You can see the sporting fans. The manager was like euphoric. It is the way it is. But it's 3 points. They're on 6. We're on 3. You know, we're second in the group. Depending on what the results are, it's nothing to be like, okay, well, that's it now. But
if Marseille win their game, then it's all, you know, it's going to be difficult, more difficult to get out of this group, which we should be doing at a canter.
100%. I totally agree with Mark P. You know, I've never watched this, but I would have gone and watched this straight after today.
Oh dear me! Right, I think we need to go. I want to go now.
I want to go.
See you outro. That's the one. I like it. Okay then. Is that it then?
That's it.
Ciao.
Well, before we go though, make sure we like this. If you don't like Spurs, at least like the channel, like this channel, and like this stream, and do everything else. But yeah, we'll be back on. Talking points. We'll do Talking with Spurs Day. Preview show on Friday, depending, and then obviously the review show on Saturday for the Leicester game. And yes, anything else? That's it.
That's it.
Come on, you Spurs.